Hey, this is me building and strategizing a $2 million a year business in public. Last month, I made $128,000 in profit. Next month, I want to hit 167. And the way that this works, no, we are not doing terminal stuff. The way that this works is we start off with some Q&A of my viewers on YouTube. Then we do a little bit of brand stats. Oh my goodness, we just hit 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, Coinus. And then we wrap it up with some daily strategy, aka what I'm working on today. So let's head over to the community tab and let's scroll all the way down here. And let's see what we got. Looks like somebody's making fun of me. Thank you, Brett Harder. Brendan says, hey, Nick, it's often non-negotiable to craft a no-brainer offer that includes giving a promise to handle any objections. Okay, I'm with you. I don't really like how much I'm leaning over here. Let me make my life a little bit easier. Hold on. My question is, how are people making these guarantees based on performance, like X leads or you don't pay, X clients and X months guaranteed, or X MRR if you don't pay? Assuming everybody puts in the work, these are still difficult to predict, especially for those who are beginners. How should we approach this? It's a great question, Brandon. I want you to think of it like this, okay? If you had two universes, okay, two possible worlds, and on the left-hand side, you had a world where you had no guarantee, and on the right, you had a world where you had a guarantee. Okay. You told the client on the left, hey, there's no guarantees in life. And, this may work and this won't, it may also may not work. It's just depending on trust and the market and blah, blah, blah. Just to be clear, you would have a lower conversion rate, right? Whereas if you told the client on the right-hand side here that like, hey, 100% guarantee, if I don't deliver you a 2x ROI on the money that you spend me, minimum, I'll give you all of your money back. And maybe I'll get you a cool Amazon gift card of $100 for your time. Okay. You'll have a much higher conversion. That's just kind of like right off the bat. So these are the trade-offs. But I also want you to think of it like this. If you have no guarantee versus a guarantee, in which one of these worlds do you think that you're going to work harder to fulfill for the client? This is a nuanced point, but it's basically more of a psychological thing than it really is like a business thing. If you had a choice between telling a client, I'm going to guarantee you X result, and telling a client, there are no guarantees in life, we're going to try, but I'm not really sure if I can deliver this for you. In which one do you think you'd be more likely to actually achieve the thing that you told the client and guaranteed them that you were going to achieve? This one. So you actually have a higher probability of success for offers that you guarantee as opposed to ones that you don't. Okay. So not only do you have a higher conversion rate, you also have a higher probability of success. Why? Because you're aligning incentives. If you don't make the client the money you promised them, you're not going to have any money yourself, right? You're going to have to give back your deal or whatever the hell your guarantee is. I mean, Alex Hormozy does some crazy guarantees. It's like, if you don't make, this much money, I'll actually pay you twice that amount of money for your time. Like, how is anybody going to say no to that? Okay, another little nuanced point that I want to mention is when you're at the start line of any business, lead generation is always the bottleneck. And I mean, even when you're kind of at the midway point of a lot of businesses, lead generation is still the bottleneck. If you can maximize your conversion rate right off the get-go, and then you can also provide a higher percentage likelihood that the project will succeed, even if you don't know what the hell you're doing, and the only downside is you just don't make any money because you give them their money back. This is basically free experience. And you don't have to feel bad about this free experience that you're doing, because you're kind of learning on the job. You don't have to feel bad about this because if you don't deliver the thing that you told the client you were going to do, what they end up getting is a bunch of free work anyway. So, I mean, like logically, morally, ethically, everything, guarantees are the way to go for this stuff. Strategically, guarantees are the way to go. Obviously you hedge your bets with them and you're not crazy about it. Like there's no way this won't succeed. By offering a guarantee, you're actually implicitly saying like, hey, there's a chance this won't succeed. And in that case, I will give you your money back. It's just the way to go. I used to operate off the no guarantee idea because I went door to door working with a marketing company that just had a really, really shitty service. And they said all these amazing sales pitches that they use to try and get out of the whole guarantee thing. There are no guarantees in life. Is there a guarantee when you cross the street this morning you wouldn't get run over by a car? No? Well, why are there guarantees in marketing, right? All this stuff is just like emotional manipulation. It's just shitty. If you offer people a guarantee, it's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for you. It's a win-win for the client. And my recommendation to you is just to get in the habit of offering guarantees as much as possible. Second that I started doing this, I went from making like $2K a month to like $20K a month. So If I could offer you one word of advice and kind of tip to improve the probability of your success, it would be that. Brett Harder says, what's going on with the audio sync? Don't put your face if you're not comfortable on camera. Need to do a voiceover. I'm going to give that a hard anyway, because Brett does not know me, but I love putting my face on camera. Probably like 10x the content, 10x the minutes of Nick's face on camera versus any other YouTube channel out there right now. So thank you, Brett. I will check into the audio sync, to be clear. Christian says, hey, can you help me understand when businesses choose to end-to-end self-host versus using their cloud? I believe the self-hosting for anything beyond personal use requires being their enterprise client. Is this generally true, and how to work through it with clients? Listen, great question. Nobody really knows. Nobody's really, gotten to the point where somebody's called them on it and hasn't gone after anybody for this stuff yet. So while you're probably technically correct, and I believe I read the specific provision where you mentioned that it is it has to be for personal use or whatever, there hasn't really been any backlash yet, so nobody's really worried about it. Basically, everybody that's using N8N to make money right now, not everybody, but like a lot of the people that are using N8N to make money, like they're using the self-hosted version, and then they're just like running all of the executions through their endpoint. They're not setting it up for their client. So things get a little bit more nuanced with the N8N. But if you want to be safe, I mean, just use the cloud hosted offering, man. Cloud host is better. It's easier. It's faster. You don't have to do any webhook bullshit. Sure, it costs more, but like, dude, are you going to be okay? Self-hosting N8N cloud costs like $50 a month or something like that for 5 active workflows, and I think like 5,000 or 10,000 executions per month. Do you really think that if you start working with a client, like, how much money are you going to be making a client per month? Realistically, are you going to be making them $50 a month? In that case, I mean, they're paying $50 for the cloud version. They're paying you $50 a month. Maybe you're making them $50. It doesn't make sense. But obviously, the whole premise of automation, to make a long story short, is that you're going to be delivering a massive multiple on whatever money they're spending on you and on the service, right? Realistically, when you're delivering $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a month in value, a small subscription of $50 or $150 a month, or whatever the N8N top tier is, really just isn't. It's really not that hard. Also, it just eliminates a lot of the technical complexity. Like, you don't run into downtime issues with servers. You don't have to like update constantly, because N8N cloud version just has all of the reliable updates sort of built into the service. And yeah, I mean, I'd recommend cloud hosted all the time. Thanks, Car Showcasing CSC. Very much appreciated, my man. Sean says, hey, Nick, would love to see an automation on posting the clips in several channels at once, maybe a scraper that takes a new upload from one platform and submits it to the rest. Thought about connecting Make with Buffer, as TikTok has some problem with that. Let me know what you think. Yeah, I think this is reasonable. Just keep in mind that like the top channels don't actually use APIs to submit posts and put them on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, because there's this idea that these social media platforms will soft throttle you if you use an API to submit a post versus if you do it yourself. Obviously, from their point of view, they want to encourage human-generated content because they think the human-generated content is generally still better than machine-generated content. And so they're just trying to disincentivize the latter. So I could see this being a strategic thing that the companies actually do. I don't think anybody's fully confirmed this as of yet. I don't know. I might be wrong. If there are any SEO or organic pros in the comments, just feel free to drop the truth down below, or whatever you think is the truth anyway. But yeah, like, I'm not going to be doing this through using some scheduled API. I'm just going to be having real human beings post to all of these fan style pages for me. Speaking of which, we just set up all those fan style pages the other day. So they're currently warming up for the next 48 hours. But yeah, that, you could definitely build a system like this. It's just, it's not going to be considered as valuable. And I know that I've done videos on, doing this sort of content syndication and curation and posting. I usually mention what I'm telling you right now. So I don't use them myself, but yeah. In terms of how it would work, you would probably dump something into a Google Drive folder is the easiest way. So some piece of content into a Google Drive from some source, so maybe long form YouTube video or something. Then you'd run that through a transcription flow to get the transcript. So hit the Whisper endpoint or hit some service that gives you the transcript. YouTube can auto-generate subtitles, so you might be able to use an Apify scraper. Not an Apify scraper, but a scraper like that. Then once you're done, use that transcript to generate content of the appropriate form and medium for every platform that you're posting to. Instagram has a different platform spec than Twitter, right? Number of characters you want to post on Facebook is going to be different than the number of characters you're going to want to post on LinkedIn. And then you can also add accessory flows that do things like produce images or get images from publicly accessible sources or get citations or whatever. And then, queue it up using their API, like my content syndication videos. Hopefully that helps. All right, I'll answer one more from Ebenezer Tiglu. He says, "Hey Nick, I'm an 18-year-old from Ethiopia. It's a third world country, and I'm interested in AI automations. Would you recommend learning another high-income skill and getting some capital and soft skills before entering the space? Or would you recommend starting now if it doesn't require much capital? PS 500 is an equivalent of 10K plus here." Thank you for doing that math for me. The buying power being 20x in Ethiopia, that's great for you, I would say, just because you get to leverage buying power arbitrage and get a much higher quality of life per dollar that you earn with automation. That doesn't mean that it's 20 times easier for you, because you're going to be facing some friction, right? I think a lot of people, especially in the West, that tend to pay a lot of money, they are going to look down upon offshore people that are from Ethiopia, Africa, the Philippines, India, just because of negative connotations with poor quality work, and probably like English skills, where they're going to think because you're not English native, you're just necessarily not as smart. So just to be upfront with you, you are going to be facing that, which I think is silly. But anyway, yeah, I guess to answer your specific question, do you recommend learning another high income skill first, or do you recommend going directly into automations? No, I recommend going directly into automations, man. There's no real higher income skill as of 2025, February the 28th, right? Like this is the place to be. It's a massive exploding industry. You're going to run into some roadblocks where you're probably not going to know what to automate because you don't really have any business experience, and you've been young and you probably haven't worked with many companies, at least digitally. So you're going to have to learn that through fire, basically trials and tribulations. But they'll turn you into a better business owner, and you're ultimately going to be able to get up and running a lot faster than if you were to do something like, I don't know, try doing a copywriting business, or try doing some traditional agency service, or try starting a cleaning business in Ethiopia. So this is the thing that delivers massive multiples on people's time today, even in the West. Your multiple is basically an additional 10 to 20x that. This is where you want to be. I mean, the second that you get like a client paying you $2,000 a month or whatever, like you said, you'll be making the equivalent of about $40,000 a month in US buying power, which is gigantic. So hope that makes sense. Okay, thank you, Julius. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. Wow. Great work, Austin. Fantastic. Yeah. Great job. Thank you. Awesome. I'm just going to heart a bunch of these comments so that tomorrow I don't get caught up with them. Mehmood is awesome. So if anybody wants to improve their ability to create voice agents, then definitely get in touch with this guy. He's nuts with it. He was actually the inspiration behind my Vappy video. It was directly because of him that I went in to make a couple of my own Vappy assistants that then led me to learn how it works, which then led me to make a video. So Mehmood's fantastic. Quick question for Nicholas Cash. I just do everything except for the cutout silences thing. And then, yeah, I'm definitely not AI. But thank you, Krishna and Shark. And thank you, cute little wizard cat. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to call it there. Let's loop over to some brand stats really quickly. Obviously, the daily updates channel just hit 1,000 subs. That's big news. Very excited about that. That means that we've grown 72 in the last 24 hours. The main Instagram channel here, if I jump in, is now at 24,409. So we've gone up by 689. And then what is the main YouTube channel at? It's the big question. 53,761, it looks like. So we're making some solid time and solid progress. 50,761. We're not growing as quickly now for sure, which is unfortunate, but I'm not worried too much about the day-to-day. I'm more worried about like the general trend line. Like 286 is very much on par, and I'm still probably facing some unsubscribes coming in from that YouTube video that people are now starting to watch, just due to the way the discoverability works on YouTube. Is what it is, right? So yeah, we're progressing. I mean, the gap between these two is slowly but steadily closing, which I love. I love to see. It's coming. It's definitely coming. Okay, so in terms of strategy, I got a couple things I want to do. Oh, right, I need to link Brian to the 3 Nisha Day. Just had a great call with Brian. I actually did end up doing that. I did do that. One big thing that I'm interested in doing is writing simple Maker School and Make Money with Make onboarding emails. So as we know, Maker School is now doing 75,137 a month. So we just hit 1,200 paid members. That's awesome, right? That's a lot of money. But that's not enough money. I want this to be at least 80K. Like I want to hit $1 million a month. $1 million a year just with Maker School. But one thing that Matt pointed out to me the other day, and a couple other people I've seen are doing this, is when somebody joins your community, they actually subscribe you to an email sequence, and then that feeds into your newsletter. And this is two things. One, it like adds a bunch of additional people to your newsletter that may not be subbed, and it guarantees that everybody's getting the same information. And then two, I don't know, they're just seeing that when you subscribe community members to a newsletter, and in the newsletter you have specific actionables of what they're supposed to do, churn goes down. So we're thinking that we could probably get churn down another 5% from 20 to 15. It's been hovering around like 18 to 22, I want to say, for the better part of the last 2 months. So clearly what I'm doing here to reduce churn, it's worked a little bit because it used to be 25. It's worked a tiny bit, but hasn't really worked that much. If we can get this down 5%, then, if we just go 1 divided by 0.2, that's 5 times 75, 375K. If we can go 1 divided by 0.15 times 75, it's 500. So I'm basically making $125,000 the way that churn math works by doing this. And I want to make 125 grand. So obviously me making a simple newsletter template's straightforward. I'll show you guys my the newsletter that I created yesterday, because I think that this is pretty good and pretty valuable for people to see. Jumping onto my templates. I don't even know where that is really. Creating a new email template? No. I don't even know where the hell this is, man. Okay, here we go. Okay, see this? This is going to be my new, the thing that I blast out with the welcome. So thanks for subscribing. To make a long story short, I help people learn AI tools. They use those tools to make money. You're probably here because that's so welcome. Like the rest of my content, these emails will be practical, direct, and transparent. I don't spend days editing them. I write one in an afternoon and send it a few hours later. The goal as always is authenticity over perfection. What to expect every Wednesday, you get 3 nuanced ways to make money with new AI tools. These aren't the bloated, fluffy ideas. This is the value prop. This is what I'm going to be doing. These aren't the bloated, fluffy ideas you may see elsewhere. These are the actionable tactics I'm using today to generate $1,530,000 per year as a one-man business. Aside from that, here's a list of my most popular free resources to get you up and running. Many people bookmark this. Finally, before I go, I have a rather blunt task. Could you reply to this email? It helps my deliverability and lets me get some ideas for content. So now I'm going to get to double dip with the newsletter. If so, what do you think I should record my next YouTube video on? I'm a real person and read every response. Is there anything you've wanted me to talk about that I haven't covered already? Assuming it's a good idea, I'll record it and even tag you. No pressure, of course, just like listen to my audience. Okay, thanks for reading. And I'll talk to you soon, Nick. Cool. So I'm thinking of sending this. I do need an image of me waving. It's not super hard to do. I'll probably take it over the course of the next couple days. But this is going to be my welcome newsletter. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 or 3 variants of this welcome newsletter, depending on your intro point. So if you come in from my Instagram, for instance, you might get one. If you come in from my YouTube, you might get another. If you come in from my community, right, with that welcome email that I was just telling you guys about for the community, you might get a 3rd. And then if you come in through some other thing, you might get a 4th. But all 4 of these are basically going to be looping into the same sequence. The benefit here is obviously by me segregating them like this, I get to get hyper specific as to the journey that people took to get, basically the customer journey, the first top of funnel thing that people did in order to get in here. And then because of that, I'm going to get to alter the links that I provide so that if somebody came in through Instagram, then I'm going to show them YouTube links. If somebody came in through YouTube, I'll show them Instagram and blog links. Somebody came through my blog, I'll show them all the other links. The point I'm making is I'm just going to massively improve cross-pollination in this mechanism. And then what's happening after this is we're basically going to have like a daily sequence with, I don't really know how many yet. I'm thinking 3 to 5, where I just like provide some sort of structured daily course. Then at the end, I'm going to subscribe them to the newsletter, which I promised them initially. And they might get like one newsletter entry somewhere in between here, depending on the day that they subscribed. I don't really know. So yeah, that's the idea there with the strategy. And that's what I'm going to be working on over the course of the next couple of days. I'm leaving Halifax pretty soon, and we're going to have like a pretty long plane ride in order to get back. So there probably will be one day that I'm just totally screwed. But yeah, I did this. Cool. I also finally did copy over the blueprints to the new make.com blueprint folder in Make Money with Make, which is cool. This is the first time you're seeing this. Basically, I had an issue where my blueprints just weren't organized very well. And what I've done now is I've created a new folder called Make Blueprints, and I have all of them as individual pages. And then inside of them, I just need now to record a video. And I've also got Santi, who I work with on this community, to do the N8N blueprints as well. So he's going to be creating them shortly. This looks to be a page, so I'm actually going to need to turn that into a folder. If I can do it in 2 seconds, I will do it right now, which I can. That's a good rule for productivity, by the way. And then, yeah. What else do I want to talk about today? I'm heading out with the girlfriend to grab lunch, so I don't really have much time. Yeah, I got to link Brian to the 3 niche idea for sure, and then I got to write simple maker school and make money with. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, one more thing. You guys remember the 15-minute offer that I'm doing? Well, I had a great idea come in, and that's to change the 15-minute offer, which is where you get a quick call with me for 15 minutes at the end of Maker School, to between a 15 to 30-minute roast session. So instead of me providing the floor for us to talk about anything, my friend said, hey, listen, when you get into this sort of stuff, people in general will be kind of, especially the people that like watch a lot of your content, they're going to be a little bit nervous to talk with you. They're going to be probably not able to get as much value out of this if you make it completely unstructured than if you actually added a little bit of structure yourself. So I'm thinking of changing this from like a consultation call that I record and then use for content and turn it into a roast. If I turn it into a structured roast where I say, hey, bring this, that, and I'll roast it live for you and I'll give you real-time tips. I take a lot of the load and the pressure off the people that book the calls. And then I also provide kind of a structured mechanism by which I could maybe, I don't know, do some sort of roast channel later or something. So I'm thinking of doing that. Just content-wise, like time-wise, that would take a lot more time. If I switch from a 15-minute sequence to a 30-minute sequence, I'm literally doubling my content obligations. And considering I math it out at between 30 to 45 people-ish a month, doing 30 minutes would now scale me up to 15 hours a month of content that I'd have to record for that. But I think that that's reasonable, just considering the amount of top-of-funnel stuff I'm generating. Okay, great. And then the last thing I'll cover is the pipeline's working really well. We have 7. We have 7 posts that are currently ready to publish. And we're working on another 4, 6, so another 10. Just to show you guys an example of what one of these might look like. Let's go in here. I wanted to show you guys a specific one. I think it's this one here. Empathy is a skill. Okay, I'm just going to turn the audio down a little bit. One sec. So we're starting off with that black little thing at the beginning. This is my interview with Jack Roberts, obviously, where he's talking. And then it cuts to some B-roll footage, which I think is just stylistically gorgeous. And then it's going to jump over to me. And this is also how I just wanted to reward Jack, and I wanted to help cross-pollinate him for having me on his podcast and posting me on his channel. I didn't post the podcast on my channel. So if you think about it strategically, like if you're 2 content creators at approximately similar levels, and one guy posts a video of you and him on his channel, you are benefiting disproportionately. So this is my attempt to help, give back to him as well. But yeah, I mean, as you could see, like the pipeline's up and running. We currently have 5 channels, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, we currently have 5 channels up and running, which is cool. We need to set up another 5 like YouTube Shorts channels. So I don't know exactly when that's going to happen over the course of the next couple of days, but the first post is internally being scheduled for Saturday afternoon. Fingers crossed. I hope that goes well. We'll see how it. Yeah, we'll see how it runs. But I guess the TLDR here is that everything's kicking, right? Like we're making some solid progress. It's just a matter of time before this sort of stuff takes off. Daily Updates channel just hit 1,000. It's going to be monetized soon, like I was telling you guys about before. I received nothing but like fantastic positive feedback from everybody. So as long as I consistently put out a video every 2 days on my main channel and then every day on this channel, and as long as I continue giving the clips to my editors and then allow them to deal with all the posting and stuff, I think that we're rocketing to the moon. I have no doubt in my mind that the fame level that like Alex Hormozy currently has, which is well earned, by the way, and he's much more accomplished in business than I am, but the current fame level that he has, I should be able to hit at some point in the next few years, assuming that the strategy continues to multiply. Obviously, there are going to be some roadblocks that I'm not anticipating right now. Maybe some plateaus that I'll hit that like I just haven't gotten to the level where I even can consciously sense those plateaus. But we'll see how it goes. I'm very excited for the ride. So thanks for coming with me. If you guys like this sort of content, check out Maker School. It's a daily accountability program that helps you get from 0 to 1 in automation. If you guys want some more advanced, higher level coaching, as well as weekly office hours with me where you can check in and ask anything you want in a group setting, go to makemoneywithmake.com. That's my higher level automation community. Otherwise, please like, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Cheers.